going on? We live in the building. Make sure y'all
What
hit that
up?
like when you come in the building.
What up? All right, we got a very important topic. Let's get into it. So, we protect ourselves as biracial people, and how can we support each other? So let's get into it. So I want to know, what you think? Like why? Like you said, you wanted to ask, like, tell everybody why this is very important. And so,
So I want to get into that, real quick, just to let people know why it's important. Shout out to the people watching live as always, and then the people watching on the playback. Hit that like, hit that like. So this is how black and white biracials can protect ourselves and support each other. In this stream, I'm gonna be using biracial and mulatto. I'm gonna probably use them interchangeably. So, for people who like the term mulatto, for people who like the term biracial, right? So, real quick, how do you feel about those terms? I know there's been new terms kind of floating around, right? I'm seeing the Euro Afric, mulattoes making a comeback a little bit, you know.
there's a place for both of them. Honestly, I use them interchangeably. So,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
they mean, what we're talking about. So they kind of mean the same thing. So, but I
Right,
would,
right, right.
have like our own official term again, where it's like, okay, we don't got to sit here and always, yeah, we know biracial means any mix. Like we always have to clarify that, but it's like, just
Right,
for
right.
it's like a temporary term. I think of it as a temporary term until we could get like legal classification as this is what we are, just like we did with mulatto. Maybe it'll be mulatto, maybe it'll be another term, but it's like a
Exactly,
biracial
exactly.
temporary thing,
Yeah,
till we
because
don't.
with like certain communities, everyone has seems to have like a term they use that's not necessarily like
Mhm.
the term that's on the census, right? Like, black Americans, they put like African American, but in the streets, people will say black American, right? Like, so
Exactly.
everyone has their own little term. So I'm okay with the terms too. I don't try to get too hung up on that. But some people do, some people
Mhm.
don't. But real quick, like
Right.
just why I wanted to talk, not just I wanted to talk about that, but this is something that me and Magic been talking about behind the scenes. We really wanted to get this topic out to y'all. We just had some scheduling issues. We got the time difference. So we both got kids, so it is a little
Right.
bit difficult, to get it out. But we're here. And so why I personally wanted to talk about it was I've just been seeing a lot of attacks like on social media, and unprovoked attacks, right? Like just no one's even talking about nobody, and you just see these things always pop up, and it's real funny because you have some people that would say, why do y'all keep talking about black people? And not realizing that we're actually responding, right?
Mhm.
We're not going at anybody. We're actually just responding to what we're seeing. We could just be minding our mulatto business or biracial business, and like all of a sudden you see something pop up like delete light
Right.
skins and these mixed mulatto
All like
magic
out
mulatto,
like
right?
random bullshit
so,
that is
so how
like
about you, like why you
it's
want to
not just.
talk about the topic?
Mm-hmm.
I'm my bad, I think there's a little bit of lag, my bad.
Oh, there's a lag. Oh, okay. What'd you say? Did you ask me something?
Oh yeah, I was just like, so why, what's the reason why you wanted to talk about this topic?
So it's very important because people think this is just jokes. It's funny. It's haha. It's cute. And then if we say anything about it, we're being sensitive, we're being soft, we're being like little bitches or something. So it's like, no, it's not for us to really like understand our worth, understand our value, and know that it's not okay to do this towards any group. Like all these
Right,
derogatory, like you know what I'm saying. There's a fine line. Like it's cool to laugh at yourself and ha ha ha, but it's always the intention behind it. The intention is to like bring
yeah,
you down and make shit about yourself. So it's like it's not cool to do that towards any group, towards black people, Asian people, and we got to treat ourselves with the same respect. We got to see ourselves in the same light. Like, hey, this is not cool to treat me like this. It's about self-respect at the end of the day. Like, which I respect myself.
right.
I'm not gonna let you disrespect me in any kind of way and thinking it's funny and think you can get away with it. So that's what it comes down to me.
Exactly,
Sometimes a self-respect thing. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
exactly. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
another reason why like I want to talk about it too is like we don't have representation. Like we talked about that. I've been on a couple streams lately. I've been on Vanguard, who's the other, Euro Afric Outlook, I think it is. And we were talking about this representation, like and then Radical Latino, shout out to Radical Latino. If we don't have representation, this is anybody, right? If you don't have representation, you don't have any protection, because that's how it works in this country, right? People who
Yep.
have representation get to tell their elected official, hey, I want this for my community, blah, 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 blah. We get lumped
Mm-hmm.
into the black community. Yes, we're going to I'm have to bring up the black community because we get lumped into the black community. And we don't get representation as mixed, biracial,
Mm-hmm.
mulatto people. So that's another reason why I want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. We need somebody who's gonna fight against anti-mixed race, because it's a certain category. Like there's people who specifically target you for
Right.
being mixed, and it's not really a thing that's talked about much in the Black community. That's not really an issue because they're not mixed race, most of them. You know what I'm saying? So why would they have to worry
Yeah,
about that?
yeah.
We do need our own
Even although
representation.
some of them are trying to sneak up in
They
the
are
mix. Yeah.
all mixed
And the
too.
last
Yep.
the last reason I want to talk about it is just so and I'm sure we both agree on this. Like, so the future generations are safe. You know what I mean? Like we get this census data, we get this representation.
Mm-hmm.
We're teaching people. And for people who, let's say for example, if you're watching this and you're not biracial, mulatto, or whatever, that's cool. You could still learn something. And if you are in an interracial relationship, this could be a reference video where you can come back and say, okay, look, let's look at those millennials and see how what they had to go through, from the various videos that we have and the information we're given. You can learn a lot and help your child, you know what I mean, grow up in this world and see, if you like any of the things that we're suggesting, because at the end of the day, we're both biracial, both mulatto. So what we say definitely holds weight, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So okay, I want to get into what
All
I
right,
think
let's do
that
it.
is very important. Okay, first of all, we need to understand our self-worth, because I feel like so many biracial people, they're like, it's not that deep, it's not that serious, who cares? Like they don't have any sense of self-worth. You know what I'm saying? They're just like so beaten into the fact like, oh, being a biracial is such a horrible thing, it's you should hide it. Nothing to stand up for. It's nothing to like be proud of. It's nothing to, it's nothing. It's something that you should simmer, like you should hide, that you should play down. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why so many of
Right.
us, when we see these jokes and stuff, we don't say anything. It's like we don't have no sense of pride. We don't have no sense of, defending like our identity whatsoever, because we feel like our identity is something to be ashamed of. So that's something that needs to change, like our mindset. And then it goes back to, y'all need to understand psychological warfare. Okay. So I was reading a
Right.
book called Psychological Warfare. The first rule of psychological warfare is to keep people confused. Okay. And tell me that doesn't apply to us, because they keep us
Hell
confused
yeah.
in order
Yep.
to keep people controlled. Okay. So y'all need to understand. Y'all understand psychological warfare and how it plays out onto us. They try to keep like your like breaking down your spirit. You see all these jokes, like it's to break you down and it make you feel like shit about yourself. So you could go around and beg for acceptance from whatever community. You know what I'm saying? Instead of
Right.
trying to build up your own. They don't want us to have anything for ourselves. Like it's very evident. They don't want us to have anything for ourselves. We're viewed as a threat, by both sides. So
Right.
it's like we need to understand the psychological warfare that's coming from both sides. And we got to protect our mind. That's our most powerful than anything. It's all this social media shit is psychological warfare, 100%. Okay? 100%.
Facts.
So we need to understand in negative propaganda, we need to fight back against the propaganda and not internalize any of it. Because when we internalize it, that's when we don't defend ourselves. We're just like, oh, I'm just this mutation, I'm a mutt, I shouldn't even be here. Have you seen those biracial people that are like, oh, we shouldn't even exist and all that shit?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
they're gonna
It's
step up
sad.
and if somebody's talking shit about like biracial people or mixed, or they're not gonna give a damn. They're gonna be like, well, we deserve it or something. So it's about protecting our mindset and making sure, hey, we're human beings. People are always preaching that to us. Oh, we're all human beings. We're all human beings. So let's start acting like it. We're human beings too that deserve. We don't deserve to be disrespected for how we're born either. So we got to make sure, we got some damn self-respect about ourselves. Okay,
Yep.
that's what it boils down to me. Like once you respect yourself, you don't let nobody, you don't let that shit kind of slide. You don't let that stuff slide. You hold people accountable for disrespecting you and trying to tear you down and stuff. Like no, we're not tolerating that. That's nothing to tolerate at all.
So
Mm-hmm.
psychological warfare, I really, really like that one. And the
Mm-hmm.
self-worth that,
Mm-hmm.
damn, there's so much I can say about both of those. But I'll get into the self-worth one. Damn, my damn words is all messed up. The self-worth, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get into that one first because that kind of aligns with my third one that I have, which is to take back our historical figures and our name, right? Because a lot of us we don't know who we are. We're running around here. Oh, I'm black. I don't know what I am. I'm confused. And then people do use biracial because it's almost like it's like a safe space where you don't really have to choose anything. And people are
Right.
afraid of the term mulatto. It's been
People are afraid of that.
demonized and just, Yeah, it's been
Right.
demonized, right? And a lot of our historical figures have been pretty much taken from us. You got people now trying to claim Frederick Douglass as being monoracial and Booker T. Well, I've
Mm.
seen several people pro-black say this. Oh no, we think they actually weren't mixed, and you know what I mean, or they weren't
Mm.
mulatto. And it's like, so we have to fight
All of a sudden.
to protect. Yeah, like we gotta protect our historical figures. So that comes with the whole knowing your worth, right? Like as a
Mhm.
people, so that kind of aligns with what I had put too, and the psychological warfare. That's
Mhm.
really important because yeah, we see that we see that every day. People make jokes about
Yeah.
us all the time and says, "Hey, well, it's
Yeah.
just a joke," right? Which is that's
Yeah.
psychological warfare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have us confused. We don't know what you know what I mean,
And,
and we're not going for
mhm.
that.
And then the psychological warfare, it plays into how it's like, oh, if you're say you're biracial, then you're black, and then a million people are gonna say you're black. If you say you're black, a million people. So it's like that loop de loop. It keeps us confused about who we are. If we keep always thinking like, you know what I'm saying, like keep asking other people for like, what's my identity? Do I get accepted? That's gonna keep us confused, and that's gonna keep us
Facts.
controlled. You know what I'm saying? So instead of like saying, hey, this is what I am, you can either accept it or you don't. I don't care. I got my own community. That's gonna we don't have no confusion. There's no confusion there. And and you see things for
Exactly.
what it is. You're not gonna. Nobody's gonna be able to run game on you. Nobody's gonna be able to tell you, oh no, actually you need to identify as this because our numbers are doing anything, and you need to make sure you stay in our numbers and all that bullshit. And nobody's gonna be able to run game
Yeah.
on you once you stand the psychological warfare game. So yeah.
Facts. Shout out to Euro Afric, Outlook, Model, Vanguard, George, Zor, Al Show. What's up? What's up? What's up? Another one I have is just what we're doing already, like to protect ourselves, is create these spaces. I guess we got something for everybody in a way. You know what I mean? Like we're so
Right.
diverse in thought, so it's cool. Like like just creating these safe spaces, gives us a place to come and express ourselves, without attacks or any judgment, right? Like if we have any beef, we can handle it. I'm really proud of I like this side of the mixed spaces because I feel like we handle ourselves a little bit
We're
better,
good.
right?
We're
We take
good.
we handle stuff behind the scenes, real professional.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to
Mhm.
do with the age thing as
Hello.
well. Yeah,
Mhm.
so creating spaces, that's what do you think about that?
Oh, that's a million. Even we gotta defend our spaces because you see me on TikTok fighting for my life. I don't know who's coming
Yeah,
up
I tried to go on
for
there
money.
several times. I had to go
And
on Google, like, how do I go on the live? And they're
you
like,
see
nope,
that?
you gotta have 1,000.
Yeah, I need to make sure we're defending our spaces like more than anything, like not letting it get infiltrated. There's gonna be a bunch of spies trying to see what we're doing, trying to see, and try to paint our spaces in a bad light. They're gonna come for us. They're gonna be like, oh, they're trying to form a cult or they're trying to form this. They're gonna try to destroy our this. That's always happened. Like historically, if we know our history, our communities have always historically been targeted and destroyed. So it's like that's gonna be the same thing with our spaces. People are gonna try to come in and to get our shit shut down, get
Yep,
this
yep.
space, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to really step up to the plate and make sure we're defending our spaces because it is very important. Like that's where we collectivize, that's where we come together, that's where we connect, that's where we bond. And it's like they
Exactly,
want to keep us
exactly.
divided. And it's like they're trying to do reverse psychology on us too, because I've seen on my TikTok, oh, you, like I say, it's a biracial safe space, right? And they're like, you're trying to divide, you're trying to segregate. I'm like, no, I'm trying to unite our own
Well, you have
people.
to
Like,
know this. I'll tell you this.
right?
When you go into those spaces, you have to have a mentality like I'm going
Mm-hmm.
right before your whole life, you're like, look, I'm going to war. That's what
I'm
it
going,
is.
I didn't
You're
know
going to
right.
war.
I
But
did not know what I was
it's a
walking
good thing.
to. No, for real. Like
Yeah,
I felt
yeah, yeah.
like I was like in like a battlefield. I was just like going out there blindsided, just thinking, hey, let's just all talk. That's my toxic trait. I'm thinking everybody just want to get along and have fun. Like that's not the case. Some people just want to come for your throat, and that's it. I'm
Right.
realizing that.
But it's
And
a
I hate that. But
it's
it's
a
like
good
you have
it's a good
to,
cause
yeah,
though. Because
yeah,
the you got
exactly.
if you go
You gotta
like
go
this,
for
look,
it.
if you go like, look, I'm going to war, but the benefits, the booty of the war is I'm gonna get some more biracial mulatto people to come into my Discord and to learn and to help. But you're just gonna have to battle some of the people, while you're doing it. So like
Yep.
it's definitely good. What else? What's up, Radical? I see you in there. I got you. I
Yep.
got you. But
Yep. I
what else
agree.
I got? What else I got? Okay, so this is a cool one. I talked to you about this a little bit in the back. Martial arts. I'm noticing a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us are into martial arts. Like I do martial arts, Vanguard does martial arts. I don't know who else does martial arts, but that's two people,
Course, as like a
right?
little kid, I wanted to get my kids into it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
I
good thing
used
to
to
do.
fight. What's weird? When I was a little kid, it used to be like little little black boys, they used to beat me up all the time. It was only them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because you know how they say, but they used to really like fight me for real, for real. Like I was a little girl. And I tried to do like Taekwondo to myself, and it didn't work really that good. But but still, it was like I don't know why they would always like they would literally get in a fight with me. Like it was so crazy. But that's how.
Nah, like I would say like, well, because like I've told a couple people this already. Like I had a fight, like a lot, growing up, right? And I never really attributed it to like oh, maybe it's because I'm mixed. When I got like to my teenage years, I started thinking like that, like damn, maybe they trying to pick on me because they think I'm soft, right? And I always had a fight, right? So I feel like signing your kids up early for martial arts so they can defend themselves is definitely a big plus. So all mulatto children should be in some type of martial arts, so they could defend themselves. Of course, it depends on where you live, also, because it really does depend on where you live. But still, just still gives them discipline. The fitness, physical fitness. What's up, Unitas One? I see you in there. You said Douglas descendants have taken DNA tests. None of them were related to Aaron. What do you mean? What do you mean? Related to Aaron?
Anthony.
What do you mean, Aaron? Aaron Anthony.
Who's that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? I seen a video of Frederick Douglass descendants, and they all look mixed too. Like they were like singing one of his speeches, and a couple of them look mixed.
Didn't he marry a white girl?
In the end, but I guess he didn't have kids with her. But somebody down the line maybe, because there was a few kids. They did like he gave a speech, like before slavery ended, and oh, you said Aaron Anthony is the alleged father. I mean, in his autobiography, he said he didn't really know who his father was, so it's alleged. So yeah, maybe it's not him, but they didn't really know who his father is. But I mean, if you look at him, he clearly is mixed. I mean, it's not. I don't feel like, there's no African that looks like that. You know what I mean? He clearly has European features.
That's another tactic that people do. People all of a sudden want to play dumb when it comes to us. So like, oh, we're all mixed, we're all biracial, all human is human. They just want to run game on us and be like, and just say all these nice sounding things. But it's like y'all are just still trying to erase our identity. Like that's the whole point of what they're trying to do, is erase our identity still. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, and try to shut us up about things when they try to come at us like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
Yeah, so we got to see through that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not respecting my identity. You're still trying to erase it. And it has to stop. It has to stop. What's up, Radical?
Hold on. Let me Yeah. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? What's up?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Shout out to Magic's mansion. You heard?
Mansion.
You got the mansion.
Yeah, shout out to the mansion.
Put you on the hot seat like Radical.
Or
So what's up, man? What you think about this topic, man?
About defending yourselves?
Yeah, like different ways. We didn't get into the support each other, I guess, but different ways we could defend ourselves. You know what I mean?
What was some of the ways that you guys broke it down? Like, what did you guys say?
Well, I was just talking about martial arts. The last one I think I touched on was martial arts, like teaching your kids martial arts, because if they're in these, let's be honest, if they're in these communities that are predominantly black, or even a good sized black community, they're gonna get picked on. Like we know that from history.
Yeah.
And they need to be able to defend themselves. So that's one of them.
That is true. I would say boxing, maybe. Having your hand skills up to par, maybe. I'm gonna say that. One way to defend yourselves. For the adults, I'm gonna say the Second Amendment is a good thing for the adults.
Right.
The Second Amendment, training also with that firearm and learning how to use that firearm is also a pretty good way to keep your things sharp, and you in a good defensive place. You know what I'm saying? outside of that, other defense, I think boxing or karate for kids. It's like I said, it's a good social way to meet people and also learn how to defend yourself and not get scared. Like, okay, everybody's gonna get hit in their face. You know, it is what it is. But don't be scared to have that happen. That's very important. And outside of that, also verbally know when to go into a verbal altercation or not. You know, have your surrounding of awareness on point. Don't be on some hood shit
Right.
talking about just because somebody called you a light skinned booger foot or whatever the case is. You know, now you have to engage with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just laugh it off, and leave it alone.
So I'm more on the like psychological aspect of it, you know, like psychological warfare that's being waged on like social media and how it could be really damaging to our mental state. So that's something that I'm like want us to protect our minds and protect our mental state from like negative propaganda and making sure our self-worth stays up, because this negative propaganda, it's meant to break you down and make you feel like shit about yourself. Like, oh, you're an abomination and you're a mutant and all this bullshit that they spew against mixed race people.
Yeah,
we're unnatural.
Radical.
All that shit, right?
On the psychological warfare that's Magic's talking about, I know you have to have been seeing this lately. I'm seeing black people coming out saying we're all mixed, to try to kind of like, like what the hell? And Vanguard says it's equivalent to all lives matter.
I think that's just the way. To be honest, I think that's just the way to just all lives matter. The mixed and biracial situation. They are seeing, and I am seeing, there's a lot of mixed and biracial representation happening right now in the media. There's a lot of mixed and biracial representation happening in TV, movies, so on and so forth. So by them saying we're all mixed, it's like basically, in other words, saying how come they can have something but I can't, even because we're all mixed. You know what I'm saying? It's just another way for erasure. Yeah, it's just another way for erasure. It is what it is.
Because if we were all mixed, why are you so disrespectful to mixed people? If we all
mixed. Exactly. And that's the thing. Talking about we're all mixed, but then going down the lifestyle or the talking points of this individual, you're not gonna hear that type of talking point or whatever the case is, because when they say we're all mixed, then they'll be like, well, y'all just black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then they'll just go into that whole thing again. So it is what it is.
There's so many like anti-mixed race talking points that have been unchecked. Like it's just going and going and going. Like so many of it. That's why we got to start. That's another thing. We got to start speaking up. Like you're using your platform. I'm using my platform. You're using a platform. We're all like growing our voice collectively to make sure we're speaking up against all these anti-mixed race narratives, and because it's unchecked, it's just rampant. It's just like all over the place. Like Mulatto Vanguard talks about it. We all talked about it. Like the fear mongering they have towards us, it's unchecked. So it needs to stop. It needs to 100% stop. So it needs to be checked. Really.
Yeah, and this is something that I was talking to. Actually, no, it was actually today. It was on Instagram. Somebody hit me up talking about the hypocrisy of some of my views, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, well, you made a video about light skin privilege. I'm like, yeah, what about it? And he said, so you believe light skin privilege is a thing? I'm like, 100%. I absolutely do believe light skin privilege is a thing. But the thing is, we don't choose to get that privilege. That privilege is just given towards us.
Right.
That's all. We don't choose when to check that ticket in. It just happens. Now, I told him, now, do you think that it's fair for us to have light skin privilege or not? No, it's not fair because I don't have it. I'm like, it sounds like jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Now
it is jealousy. You heard that fair? Kevin C. Like, oh, of course, it's not fair.
Of course, it's jealousy because it's jealousy, and I called it out. And I was like, yeah, that's jealousy because they can do it and you can't. Now the thing is it fair? No, it's not fair. Nobody should be getting a privilege over other people's work ethic should be setting you apart from somebody else. Now, did we make up the system? No, we didn't. Did we make up the privilege that some of us take? No, we didn't. We just abide by it because at the end of the day, we're not giving ourselves the privilege. It's just giving it towards us. That's all it is. So we can't just wake up one day and say, today I'm gonna get privilege. No, it just happens. And it is what it is. And if you don't like the privilege that we get, hold your own nuts.
Facts. And let me give a shout out real quick. Let me give a shout out to the Africans in the building. I just want to give a shout out to the Africans in the building. Hit that like. Go ahead.
No, okay. I want to talk about the privilege thing. So it's like, you know, when we identify Black, there's only terms and conditions. Like when it comes to privilege, it's like you can only use your privilege not to elevate yourself, or that's wrong, that's evil. But you can only use your privilege to like uplift, like, you know, dark skinned people, or uplift the Black community. Like that's the only way you're allowed to like use the privilege. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's like terms and conditions, but it's like fuck all that. Like we don't really get no respect.
But how can you now let me ask you, how can we use our privilege to uplift other folks? How? Like
it's happening forever. Okay, so back in the day, they you know, it was the light-skinned, mixed race, biracial people who went and got educated and tried to bring like the knowledge back into like the Black community. So stuff like that, like trying to like get into white spaces, get the resources and bring it back into the Black community. So stuff like that. Biracial mixed people, we've been doing that for a long time. So
yeah, we're done with that. I'm done with that. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like people don't want to. Exactly, we're done with that. Like we've done enough. And we're trying to uplift ourselves. And it's like people are going to always throw that privilege BS in our face. But I'm like, okay, we acknowledge that, but let me use it to uplift myself. We've been using it to uplift your community for a long time, and we don't have nothing to show for it. We don't have anything. So let's just do what we can to uplift ourselves. And if y'all mad about it, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and the thing, and my main point, exactly, hold your nuts. My main point was when I was talking to this dude, I'm like, okay, we got privilege. So what? Nah, it's not fair, because I'm like, that sounds like jealousy. Now, my thing is, go to there's these people called psychiatrists. You go there, talk about your issues, and then don't talk to me about them, because I'm not qualified for that. You know what I'm saying?
But check it though, they get privilege too, though. This is the thing.
Oh, no. But there is Black privilege. Let's be very honest about that. There is Black privilege, because they could go into any establishment, yell out racism until they're purple in the face, and people will listen to them. Of course. And there is Black privilege, because we've seen it on Twitter, people getting fired for saying crazy shit. So let's be honest, there is Black privilege.
The reality is there's advantages and disadvantages to every race and every culture. Like that's the reality. But people always want to look at, oh, look at what you have and what I don't have. And it's like, well, you got to look at what you have that I don't have too. Like people only want to focus on what they don't have all the damn time, instead of like
the reality,
on what they have, working for what they got.
You know, like, listen, I'm a guy. Anthony's a guy. You're a female. You got privilege over us. I'm saying you could go into nightclubs for damn near free, get free meals if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She gets accepted by the Black community.
Exactly.
She gets accepted by the men.
Exactly. She goes into like a corporate office, you know, done up right. I bet you somebody's gonna buy her lunch. Somebody's gonna buy her lunch. And guess what?
Yeah.
And guess what? That person will probably start thinking about her all day, and she will not give a fuck. She will be like, yo, that Chipotle was actually pretty nice. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, she's gonna lay up with her husband and be like, yeah, no, everything went great today. No, but the thing is, you know, there is privileges everywhere if we want to break it down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Privileges too. You have to like walk around at night and not have to worry about, you know, like somebody trying to rape you.
No, of course. Nobody's gonna, touch us or whatever the case is. No, I feel you.
FBA ADOS. Who said brass? I never heard no one say brass.
That was Denise.
That was during the
stream. Oh, Denise said. She did.
Yeah, that was during the stream. Yeah.
Denise said that. Yeah. Shout out to her.
Nah, this ain't the same topic. We talking about how we could protect ourselves and support each other. That's what the topic is.
Okay. Do y'all think? Hold on. Okay. Our privilege, it doesn't give us protection though. That's what I think. It doesn't. When we go to the police and be like, oh, this person's, you know, they're being this or that to us, they're not gonna give a fuck. What do you think they'll give a fuck?
What you break it down?
I don't think we get taken seriously as a community, as a people, as mixed. Or
well, let me ask you, Matt. Do you think we get looked at as less threatening, though? So when you say it doesn't give us protection,
yeah, we can look at it as less threatening for sure, but I don't think we get taken seriously. Like if it's something like what shout out to Euro Afric. He was talking about that. Like we need attorneys, we need legal protection. We don't have that. We don't have legal protection. You could talk crazy and you're not going to be held accountable for anything. You could talk crazy about mixed race people saying they should die and this, and nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I don't understand how Twitter, like I'll be reporting those things, they never get taken down.
Don't get
But
fired.
if you say something about
because
that,
the individuals who are saying that are black, and
Exactly.
according to this little woke agenda that's going on out here, black people cannot be racist. Oh my god! So that's the reason why, and we have, and it's bullshit.
Black people can't be racist. It's harmful to us because people will see people degrading and disrespecting and being racist to mixed race people, and they won't see it as racism. They'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. Like it's totally normalized, because it's like it's weird. That's a harmful narrative to us because according to their new definition of racism when it comes to power and systemic, you can't be racist to a mixed race person because we have less power than black people. So you can technically, by that definition that they made up, you can't be racist to a mixed race.
That's when you say I'm not talking about systematic racism. I'm talking about internal racism, intra-racism, and that right there. That right there negates everything else because that's that little game these little black whack people like to play. And on top of that, when I'll be on Twitter, the same thing I hear crazy things talking about biracial people, even other black folks, either other Africans and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's racist. And then they go like, those are just words. And then I say, if a white person calls you the N-word with the ER at the end, I better not see no goddamn tweets about you reporting this person how messed up it is in 1978. It feels like you're going back to the plantation because those are just words.
Facts. Exactly. People pick and choose. People, pick and choose when you want to make excuses for something versus when you want to hold somebody accountable for something. So it's like we don't have that luxury. We got to make sure if you say some BS like this, we can't make no excuses. We can't laugh it off. We can't do none of that in order for us to be taken seriously. So we don't got to keep taking disrespect because this stuff on the internet, it goes to our workforce. It goes into school systems. It goes into like all these different places where we're trying to rise up and try to be a better, like everybody else does, try to uplift ourselves in society. And you got all these people.
Is this perpetual victim mentality is stupid.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not taking disrespect from nobody just because of how I am. Like I want to move up in society. I don't want to deal with y'all BS. So I just want because that's gonna happen no matter what. Like racism is gonna be there. Like it is what it is. But as long as there's a system in place where people get held accountable for it, then that'll keep people in check. Because right now it's unchecked. It's just rampant. So yeah.
Right, exactly. And even if you go on Twitter, you just type in biracial. You'll literally see, I'm on it right now, and you literally just see people just talking shit. It is black people talking shit. So when people say again, oh, why do y'all keep talking about black people? Because y'all are the main ones who's trying to trash.
That's true. The main person right now being attacked, and let's be honest, is Ice Spice. Honest.
She's been getting it.
Ice Spice is getting it left and right from everybody. Ice Spice is getting it from the black community. Ice Spice is getting it, even some from the white community too. But the only ones that have been very supportive was the mixed people and the Latinos, and that's the only ones that have been supportive. Like, yo, we like this chick. You know what I mean? Everybody else, nah, she ain't black. Get out of here. Oh, now she black now. Oh, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Yeah, I shared something on my Twitter about it the other day. Let me share my screen. Because I was like, yo, stop hating. Because they stay hating. They're like, hold up. Let me share my screen. Because like Ice Spice addresses the critics who say she has only gotten this far because she's light-skinned. You see what I'm saying? People just hating like she's not talented. Even I be bumping her stuff. I be like, yo, this shit, I'm like, this shit catchy. I ain't even gonna lie.
Word,
like,
you be bumping Princess Diana? Word.
But when it come on, I'm like, I don't change it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, keep it a stack. I'm like, yo, that shit is lit. I ain't even gonna lie. But but yeah, it's like she's talented. She's attractive. I'm like, yo, stop hating, man.
And she's very unique looking too. And I don't know if you've seen her on interviews or on like certain streams. Yo, she is wild laid back. She seems like a person you could literally chill with and be like, yo, she's wild laid back. You know what I'm saying? Like she seems like a real chill person.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah,
I agree with
yeah.
Tim. I think she's an industry plant, but that's okay.
Really?
It's okay.
You think
Okay,
so?
it's okay. I really think- I really think
I don't
she's
think
an
she's
industry
I don't think she's an industry plant.
Hey, I ain't mad at it though. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm mad.
No, but let's
It's
be honest. What is she an industry plant for though? Hip hop, what hasn't been popping for a minute now. I'm not talking about it hasn't been popping because of the music.
Like, the marketing behind her and like the label and like everything is like really good. They did a really good job with like.
Yeah, but how is that an industry plant though?
Nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, I ain't mad at it, but I do think she's an industry.
To me, if somebody's gonna be an industry plant, that means there's marketing behind you to take someone down. No, wait, but to me, that what I'm saying is there's marketing behind you to take someone down. So who is she trying to take down? Like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just thought of somebody who has a like industry plant is somebody versus somebody who's like natural, just starting out, and they have like an organic come up versus somebody who has like a big machine behind them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she has a big machine behind her, but I'm not mad at it. I'm like, you know what? I ain't mad. She
to be honest, she got popping off of TikTok.
Exactly.
Because she did the little twerk thing, and then out of nowhere she started just rap. Well, that makes sense. Okay, I'm starting to see what you're saying. She just started rapping out of nowhere.
That's what he said. Yeah, we'll say it like that. She had a very professional rollout, and I'm proud of her, honestly. Like
even though a lot of people criticize her. Yeah, even though people criticize like her because they say that she can't perform like well on stage.
I think she's a persona. I think she's more like, you know, like Rihanna. Like she's more of like a persona type of girl.
Yeah,
like,
she
you know,
to me, I think that she needs to strengthen her stage performance a little bit more. Stop twerking so much. Okay, that's not that serious. Like literally, that's every dance you do. Calm down. Strengthen your stage performance and your vocals, and then I think you'll be good because she'll be running out of breath. Literally just singing 2 songs, like yo, like yo, like you gotta
so her performance is lacking.
Her stage performance is lacking like crazy. But for example, this other chick named her name is Light Skin Keisha. I think it's called. I think her name is. Her stage performance is nice. You know what I'm saying? Glorilla, another one. Her stage performance is nice.
Yeah, I've been hearing about her.
Yeah, so with those type of people, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least look at them or get your team so you could practice a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But
let's be honest. Let's be honest about this. The Black community gives more attention because these are artists that are more catered to the Black community, and they give more attention to like the lighter skinned artists, right? And it's like that's something that the Black community got to fix. Like, if y'all want to prop up artists, then you got to do that. You know, you got to put your money. You got the power. Like that's how I always say. The Black community has power. If you are so against her because she's light skinned and you want more people who represent you, you got to put the money behind you. You got to support that community.
It's a double-edged sword because
I want to give a shout out real quick.
Right,
I want to give a shout out real quick to the National Biracial Association.
National Biracial Association. Oh, the NBA. The curls are popping. Okay.
Shout outs to them. You know, people are calling it the National Biracial Association. Like I said, just, you know, I'll take that.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
I'll take it.
No, but what I'm saying is it's a double-edged sword, you know, when it comes to that, because at one point you're criticizing, saying, oh, they just getting this because they're light skinned, but at the same time you're consuming majority of their stuff. So which one is it? Exactly, which one is it? And then on top of that, again, you have these little super woke individuals that I say they're more asleep than woke, that they'll be like, look at that, these light-skinned individuals don't claim their blackness, sleeping with white women and making more mixed and biracial people. So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to this.
It's a lot of
Exactly.
hypocrisy, and I think
And that's
that
why
people
we're
are
talking
always,
about this protection. You know?
yeah, because people are always trying to give their power away. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm all about like taking your power back. So if it's like, oh, you want to see more representation, but like that's something that we need to learn too. If we want to see more like biracial owned businesses, or attorneys or things like that, we got to put our money where our mouth is and all collectively support them. They need to know there's a demand there for it. If there's not a demand there for it, it's not going to be there, because we live in capitalism. So we supply and demand, simple, right? So we need to make sure that there's a demand there and that we're willing to meet that demand, pay the money that they deserve so they could service us, and make sure that we're meeting our community needs. So I think that, people should apply that in the Black community too, when it comes to representation. Like, make sure you support the music artists and the movies and stuff that you see yourself in, and stop giving all your attention, your power away to people who don't look like you, and then cry about it, and then be like, well,
we're not doing the victim mindset stuff no more.
Yeah, we're not. Nah.
Yeah.
But while we're on the subject of FBA and ADOS, hold on, let me do this. Make sure y'all hit that like,
I'm mad I got the same hat he had. Yeah. Shout out to the Bulls, yo.
Shout out to the FBA.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's funny. Y'all saw what happened in Chicago with that mom?
Oh yeah.
Yo, you haven't seen it? Apparently there was this dude just literally arguing with her, and she's not even paying attention to this guy. And the guy goes like, yo, just order your food, ma'am, just order your food. And her son is like literally a couple of feet away, and she tells her son, yo, go to the car, right? This guy, because he's fucking degenerate, he goes like, who you telling to go to the car? Not me. Man, order your food. If the next thing out of your mouth is not nothing else, I'm gonna dead. I'm gonna hit you. And the lady was like, yo, what is up with you? Like, chill out. Yo, and this dude just started wailing on her. Got 3 hits in. The son takes a gun out and shoots the guy, kills him. Damn. Right? You see video, you see video evidence of them leaving, getting in the car. She's wiping blood out her nose because she got hit. She and then they leave, and now both of them are arrested for murder and attempted murder and all that other stuff. So the thing is, in Chicago, it's probably is a big story right now, and a lot of people are saying that it's self-defense because this kid was protecting his mom. You know what I'm saying? From a degenerate. And also they found out that this dude actually has a lot of priors for domestic violence against women. So,
but that's a tricky situation though, because even if we could say yes, self-defense, you're not supposed to have a gun, bro. You're 14 years old. So that's a crime right there. Then we got to find out. Okay,
the gun was hers. The gun was hers. The son had it. The gun was in the car. So she's like, yo, just, grab the gun or whatever the case is. The 14-year-old kid comes in, and then she says, oh, there might not be an issue, so just go back to the car. He didn't listen. And then this dude just started beating on her, and that's when he used the gun.
Yeah, but you got to remember, this is Chicago. There's 14-year-olds killing people. So that
is true. Yeah.
So that's the thing. At the end of the day, we could say, oh, well, self-defense, but let's be honest. That's how much trauma that's going to put a 14-year-old under. They're going to do something. They're going to watch him.
Also, at the same time, what you going to do? Are you not going to defend your mom? Bro, I'll die. I'll kill for my mom, bro.
You did the right thing, honestly.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we can say that, but we got to understand the law. Like, yeah, I know
what you mean.
Yeah, we could all say, yeah, we would all did that. But at the end of the day, the law is the law.
Yeah,
they're going to be like, well, you should have called the police. That's what they're going to say. You should have called the police.
That is true. That is true. And so I was looking at the video, and the establishment has bulletproof glass on it. So probably these are the type of instances that happen. And the first thing that I commented was like, "Hey yo, I wonder how that food tastes." Because I'm gonna just tell you right now, anywhere in the hood where there's bulletproof glass, that food is kicking. That joint is mad good, bro.
It gotta be if you over there at that. It's at night, right?
It was,
I-
yeah.
Yeah, man. Because I seen the caption, but I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch videos like that. But I was reading the captions and about the story. But it's unfortunate story, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's everybody in Chicago right now supposedly like talking about it. I think this other dude, he made a live stream about it, and yeah, there's been a lot of interesting takes on it. Yo, yeah, y'all know about the whole brother Polight.
Yeah.
Yo, what y'all think about that?
What happened with him?
Crazy.
Oh, brother Polight, he got.
Watch the words though. Watch the words.
Oh, yeah, I am. He got arrested. He got arrested originally for grape, the fruit grape.
Yeah.
Oh,
His wife's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, honestly.
But check this out.
Underage.
Check this out. Yeah, she's underage. So check this out. They found brother Polight's this is YouTube. So they found his DNA on the daughter's underwear or whatever, and on her dress, and it matches with his DNA. Obviously, he's this is what I say about some of these dumbass motherfuckers that be mad woke, but they actually sleep.
I never liked him.
He comes out on live. He comes out on live and says, "You know, this is all fake. White supremacy is trying to take me down. This is all fake." And you got motherfuckers believing this shit.
Who? Sarnetta believing that?
I don't think it's Sarnetta that's believing it, but a lot of people are believing it. So on Twitter, I'm like, "Hey, yo." They literally they did this to the brother Polight, he lying and stuff. Yo, you Latino, you stay out of our issues. You know the white supremacy. You know how the white man do us. I'm like,
yo, but allegedly, Polight is Panamanian though.
No, he's Nigerian.
People say he said he was Panamanian one time.
Yo, bro, he says he's everything. Like he's Nigerian,
I think he's Nigerian.
This, he's that. But I heard him say he's Nigerian a bunch of times.
Peace to your own effort.
But you want to hear something crazy? It takes this for him to go to jail, but not because he scammed his community, not because he lied, not because he stole from his own people. No. With that, and people made millions of videos on that. Oh, you're a coon, you're this, you're that. These same people were protecting him, but when something like this comes out, some of those people are quiet, and the other people are still defending him. Like, come on now, this is
I'm honestly surprised. I'm surprised he's getting held accountable for this, because this is something that runs rampant within the Black community. You know, like so many women, they choose to defend the man they with instead of their kids.
Well, if you read,
it's like under the rug a lot. So this is something I'm actually.
If you read the story, Magic, it's sick. Like I wouldn't read it on air.
Yeah,
but like it's sick. Yeah, like he
takes it to a party, make and all that other stuff, and then she wakes up with his thing.
The stats of SA of underage girls in the Black community, Black girls, is just staggering. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's like. The stats are like 60% of girls, but more likely, because a lot of it goes unreported, it's more likely like 80% of little girls get SA'd, and that's why there's so much like promiscuity in the Black community, because when that happens to little girls, they think that they get groomed to think that's okay and normal, and that's why there's some promiscuity, and it leads to single motherhood. And the men need to be held accountable for that. They're not. They need to make sure that. It's like swept under the rug. Like I've heard so many stories that are just like, oh well, we just don't talk about it. It's just like, oh, just
it is what it is type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we gotta know, due to the fact that some of these men are not around, make some of these little young girls kind of fast, and they be living that little fast lifestyle,
Yeah,
getting with
yeah.
older dudes and all that. You know what I mean?
We were talking about that earlier about
child, no, you can't consent to that. Like if you're a child, we're talking about children. Like you
No,
can't.
I'm talking about 15, 16, 17.
No, but we was
can't
talking about
consent to
that
that.
earlier. We was talking about that
It's
earlier on the Euro
you're
Africa
right.
channel.
You're absolutely right, Magic. But I've seen it.
But look,
I've been in high
yeah.
school seeing girls get picked up in
Those are
you know,
men.
Toyotas and you know
They're being
and
praised. The men are
some of these dudes are like 25, 26. You know what I'm saying? So
what's up, Giovanna? But no, real quick, we were talking about that on this dude's channel because we were talking about how like mixed girls are, you know, whatever, you know, whether it's Latina, Mulatta, they, you know, a lot of times the father and mother break up. They break up, and then the girls become sometimes fast, and then you know they start, you know, running the streets. We're talking about how a lot of mixed women,
and then you hear the Ayo light skin, come in light skin,
and they be making these OnlyFans and all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm gonna talk about that on my live stream. I'm gonna talk about like the fetishization because they were talking about that on Euro Africa. How a lot of you know, mixed race when they turn to sex work a lot of the time, and you know how there's a lot of I don't know the rates. I want to know. I think they're lumped in with the black community, so it's probably really high. But that's
because they get fetishized. They get fetishized from a young age.
These girls are protected. You know what I'm saying? Like these are girls. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these men, like they don't give it. Like you said, there's no responsibility towards them. Didn't you say that, Aunt? You said something like that on the last stream. Like there's nobody.
Oh yeah, what I was saying was when they split up, when these like black men, let's say, you know, that's the most common one. So black men and white women, when they split up, there's no accountability because they're like, look, I'm going back to my black community, and then the white woman is like, okay, well I'm white, I got my white community, and then the kids are just stuck. Like, okay, where's the community for us to go to for that protection?
Yeah, but some would say that, hey, let these little girls be fast. Don't judge them because it's their body, their choice, type of stuff.
Nah,
some people will say that. Yeah, like some feminists will say that. I heard some feminists say that. I even heard some LGBT people say that shit. So yeah,
you know they're wrong because that's wrong. They're children. Like these are children. Like when you're like a grown adult, yeah, do whatever you want with your body. I don't care. But these are children being taken advantage of by older men, being preyed upon by older men. And it's disgusting. And then you know, most of the time when a teenage pregnancy happens, it's a much older guy and he just disappears. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like because he don't want to be go to jail. So
I think it was around. I think there was a state. I forgot what state it was, but this like 14-year-old girl went in there prego, and the father was like 32, and guess what ended up happening? They ended up calling the cops, and the dad ended up being arrested. You know what I'm saying? Because this individual was 14. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I've seen that happen. I've seen dudes
I remember that.
I remember
that. That's something I definitely remember that. Oh wait, hold on, somebody calling me.
But yeah, man.
I'm so passionate about, like, you know, these girls that nobody's looking out for, that they're just being used and abused and taken advantage of left and right by these men that have their best interest at heart whatsoever. You know, I got my stories that I know about in my personal experience, so I can only imagine what other girls are going through that, you know, look like me, because, you know, we're very fetishized and pedicized, and that comes with a downside in the community that, you know, you're gonna
when I was growing up,
yeah,
just on a personal note, because I have an older sister, right? Got same mom and dad, and an older brother, same mom and dad, right? So I can't tell you how many times, like, I guess I can't say black men because it was high school, but I can't tell you how many times dudes were like buying my sister everything. Like, I mean, like, they were trying so hard, like super thirsty. Like it was crazy. Like, so I already know, like, the, you know, mixed women definitely get fetishized.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I was fetishized when I would, you know, in high school when I was dating dark skinned women. So I felt like I was a fetish. Like they wanted to speak Spanish out of nowhere, and I'm like, yo, it's not that serious.
Word.
Yeah, some of them will be like, yo, we have cute babies and all that. I'm like, come on now.
I told people this before and it got taken out of context by some stalkers, but, you know, like I was telling people, I was like, here in the Northeast, like with the Black American women, a lot of times they would mess with Black American dudes, right? But the Jamaican, like the Caribbean black women, like man, they was on me, like saying the same thing that you was saying, like, oh, we're gonna make pretty kids, and you got that light skin, like they really was on that, So I know,
Wow. That's crazy.
like, matter of fact, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I ain't gonna get
in
graphic.
Atlanta one time, and this dude came up to me and he was like, "Oh, light skin is the right skin," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I don't know. It was such a turn off. I was like, "Ew, just go away." Like, I don't know. It's just not. It's not cute to me to do that. I mean, yeah, I love my skin tone. I love how I look, everything, but it's just the energy. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird energy.
But I think you brought up a good point, because I feel like there's probably other women who go through that want to be black, right? So that's another thing that I think makes them not like their complexion, because they're like, oh, I get this attention. Some of them might like it, but they don't. They just want to fit. Some of them just want to fit in. So they're like, oh, stop looking at me just for being light skinned. Like, why are you fetishizing my skin like that? We know that girl, that woman that we all have seen on TikTok, where she tries to pretty much, in my opinion, act like she doesn't like to be biracial, but she actually does. You know what I'm talking about? We talked about her a couple of times.
Yeah, I don't know who she is.
There's a woman and she pretends like, oh, I don't recommend being biracial, but you can clearly tell like she's using that for like,
the one that has like the shirt that says like, yeah, I'm black. Is that one?
I don't know if it's her. She has like, her thing says like pro-black feminist, and she made a video talking about, Georgia knows who it is. He wrote on her thing before. Yeah. And it's like,
there's a lot of them that say stuff like that. They're self-loathing biracial people. They hate themselves. Fortunately.
Yeah, but do you really think she hate herself though, or you think she's just playing? Like she just want that attention?
No,
that's attention, bro. That's attention.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's attention.
Oh yeah, didn't we watch that? Didn't we watch that video together or something?
And most women that do that, they just want attention.
But some of them be trying to just downplay like who they are so they could feel accepted. But I think a lot of biracial people really don't like themselves, honestly. They have a hard time feeling like.
Well, there was one in that. Damn, I gotta make a stream on that. But there was one on one of the panels that I was in. This biracial dude was like, "Yo, he was bullied by the black community to the point where he wished he was dark."
That happens a lot. Damn. That happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's weird. Just so you don't have to deal with the because okay, what did Future say? I don't know Future here. But she said this to me and it made sense. It's like in the black community, the lightest and the darkest get the most shit, basically. And it's sad. And that's the reality of it. It's always based on skin tone. You're gonna deal with a lot of BS. And it shouldn't be like that. I don't know. It's not like that. I mean, I guess colorism all over the world, but I don't know. I think it's
here's the woman right here.
Yeah, we watched this together.
Yeah. So like you go to her page, you could tell that she just, wants that attention. But it's true. Yeah, like light-skinned men and dark-skinned women get it like the worst, in my opinion. But so her page says, oh, pro-black feminist. It's just like, so and then she says she doesn't recommend being biracial. So it's like, what the hell? But she clearly is using that to kind of get.
How can you not recommend existing? Like, what do you mean? You just want us to off ourselves? Like, that doesn't even make sense. That's so stupid.
She wants brownie.
But I know what she means. She doesn't want people to race mix. I get it, but it's like, what other people are already here? Like, you can't control that. Like, oh my god, I hear this so much. It frustrates me so much because I had this African dude come on my stream and he was like, well, I don't want y'all to exist. We don't. I'm like, but how are you going to implement that? Like, realistically, because they used to have laws in America against anti-miscegenation laws and people still created us. So it's like it's unrealistic to just say, hey, let's all just stop race mixing. Like it's not gonna happen. Like it's so stupid.
Yo guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. Shout out to you in the stream. But definitely keep up the good work and more ways for us to defend ourselves. Yeah.
Facts.
Thank you, Radical. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, wait, real quick, for the people that's listening, I created a petition, so please sign it. It's about to get 70. It's close to 70 signatures already. So all we need is 150. So keep up the good work.
We gotta put it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it again. I'm gonna see if I can find it and share it while we live.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to see if I could do a TikTok on it, and hopefully that will give it more growth.
I'm gonna do a live about it. too. So it's
All right,
a lot
cool.
of people posted a lot of it. I promoted it a lot. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah. Thank you. So hopefully it gets like let's make some history. You know what I mean? All right. Bye.
All right, peace.
Bye. See you later. So going back to my point about people who are
Let's get back
so
on
mad
that topic,
about
man.
us existing, and people who are so like, oh, we need to stop y'all from existing, and even biracial people taking that on, saying, hey, we need to stop creating us because of this or that. It's just so unrealistic. It's so dumb. It's so like, why don't we just learn how to deal with mixed race people instead of learning how to deal with mixed race people and trying to figure out this way to like meet their needs and make sure their community's straight. They just want us to not exist. It's just crazy to me. I don't know. It just pisses me off so bad. Like it pisses me off. It's stupid. It's like a genocide.
I agree.
Yeah. It's like,
damn, I tried to share the link. I don't know if it worked though. You can hear me? Okay, it worked. Yeah, so click that. Yeah, click that link for the people in the chat. It should have worked. But nah, you're right. Like when I saw that video that you with the TikTok you did, where the dude was like, "Oh, you're an abomination." It's like this is the thing, right? And I try to tell people, like, okay, there's people like that exist. So what are we supposed to do with people like that exist? Are we supposed to just ignore them? Let me put the link in the chat for people who want to come up. Like I'm like, are we supposed to just ignore them? Like what if something did break out and we got to defend ourselves? Like how are we gonna do that? What if those type of people have kids that are going to school with our kids, right? Teaching their kids, oh, they're an abomination, and then our kids are getting bullied now. Like, nah, we can't do that.
We can't.
So how do we support each other? We didn't even get to that,
Oh my God, this is a good one. So first of all, we need to. Hey, George.
What's up, George?
Nothing much. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Good.
Good to hear.
Let me something real quick. So I'm big on us like uplifting each other's voices. We have a platform. You have a platform. Let somebody who's biracial come on their platform, tell their story, and connect with each other. That's how you build support. You got to get to know people. You got to be like, okay, who are you? We got to connect. We got to network. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we build support for each other. Like this, you're doing this. Okay, well, I know somebody who knows. It's all about who you know, right? So the more we build, more we network, more we can support people. Because it's like, hey, like if you need this, oh, I know somebody who could hook you up with this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's a good way to support. Just keep networking and keep like getting to know other biracial people, because it's not what you know, it's who you know.
So George, so you heard I seen you here for like the whole thing. So what do you think? How could we protect? You can answer whatever you want. So how could we protect ourselves, or how could we support each other, or both? What do you think?
Yeah, I did sort of like answer that already though. So it just really starts with uplifting like other content creators like ourselves, and then also like toning down on the beefing, as well as also like building up connections with like other people in positions of power.
Okay, what, you driving right now?
No, I'm not driving. I'm at home. I'm just chillaxing though.
Okay, cool.
But like,
I agree.
Like I think I mentioned like already though, like already in the chat, is that I've already like built up like a good connection with this dude who is already a part of like the hate squad of the FBI. He's a great dude, but like I respect his privacy enough to not really share his info, so I'm not going to do that. But like he is like a really great connection though, especially like when I was always telling him like, hey, these are like the people in my previous circles were saying, this is what they were talking about, these are the stuff that, hey, that this is what will ultimately happen if they were to try to like attain positions of power. So like it kind of goes back to like your question about how like if we're already here or something, like what do we do with people who are already here? Well, people would say kill us.
Exactly. That's what else is the solution? Exactly. So that's why
you would have people say stuff like, hey,
try to say delete.
On a live.
Nah, but you're right.
I'm not really saying that though. It's just I'm just quoting like other people. But okay, we can just say delete.
No problem.
They would say stuff like, hey, delete your kids, delete everybody. So while other people are just want to sit back and beef and do all their other shenanigans, it's important to already build connections with people who are already in these positions of power, because we're going to need it as far as protection laws goes. Because like earlier on, like I think last year, like me and Magic were like talking about things like hate crime legislations, things like that. Well, that's going to start with people who are already in positions of power. Because right now, as you said, we don't have power and we're quote unquote broke, as a joke, as you described it, Magic. So start to grassroots, start to build connections, and then you'll have the protection that you need.
What I did, you know what I did? I started a local Facebook group for like locals. Just start locally, because I think it's unrealistic to expect us to all migrate to one area, because we're broke, like you said, and inflation on top of that. So it's like I could start with what I got. Like I'm gonna start within my own city and start building like a little group, and then we could build like we could just have like a mission statement, like, oh, this is what we could just start building together locally, and then we could like that grassroots, you know. But it got to be offline too. We got to put in action offline as well to make sure.
Yeah, I agree with the.
We're
Yeah,
protecting
I
our
was about to
space
say I agree
online.
with the offline presence. I mean, the online presence. I think that's good for right now.
That's good.
In
We're
the
doing
future,
good.
you know, if we do get, you know, if it's possible to get projects done in the future, maybe 2-3 years from now, I'm sure, you know, we're not going anywhere. So, you know, to get projects done in the future, then we could possibly do that. Again, we talked about mulatto meetups. You know what I mean? And, you know, just to help build community, because people will say this, right? I've seen this too. Like, again, coming from the Black community, oh, y'all not going to build nothing. You're not going to build nothing. I'm like, you understand, it's not that hard to do like meetups where we can build community. And how you do that is you do things together, right? We meet up. We do maybe, I don't know if you guys ever heard of like a Spartan race or like a
Oh, that'd
Tough
be
Mudder,
cool.
like these type of like building where we can do together, and every year, you know what I mean? Like there's things you can do that you know, build community. So yeah, they're just hating at the end of the day. And you
I
know,
agree with Asker. We need to tell more stories about our victories and not highlight our trauma online. I agree with that. Like I think I'm gonna start more, because like, you know, I've been live on TikTok. I think I'm gonna start like, I want the space to be more positive. I think it is a safe space to like open up and be vulnerable. I think that's good, but we also got to balance it out with like, what do we like about being? We got to build each other up too, you know. So
Thing
I agree with
is that you can't build anything if you're not healed.
Exactly. You got to heal first, and then you can build up your sense of your self-esteem.
Yes, and that's where I was also trying to come
I
from,
agree
though,
with
is that beefing online and expressing all your little trauma bonding and that kind of stuff, that's not going to build anything.
what's up,
Hence,
Al?
Yeah, but frankly,
Before
hello.
hey,
How
Al.
is everyone doing?
Good.
Actually, like I said, I don't really see fighting and arguing and all of that as much of an issue in this space. It's only a space amongst certain people. Because what I see are people carrying on and doing content and doing their thing. Like Magic, you're doing your thing. Ant, you're doing yours. I don't know if MM is doing his, but people are just doing their thing. And trust me, I have been around a space which was so bad and toxic. Now, this was a non-biracial space. It was monoracial. I've seen monoracial people go after each other in ways that people here wouldn't believe. So I don't really see like arguments and fighting, and it's never been the kind of issue I've seen elsewhere, or that I've heard about elsewhere.
We've progressed a lot in this last couple years that we had these spaces. It used to be so horrible and toxic and just terrible and just back and forths, and just the space, we couldn't grow at all. You can't grow in a toxic environment. So I think we did a lot of.
So you were saying previous, because I've been probably in this space, I'd say 2022, like last year, maybe a little, but 2022. So before that, you're saying it was much worse, right? There was a little bit more fighting.
It was already fighting. Like the first stream I've ever seen was like people arguing, fighting, and it was just terrible. So from what I've seen,
it wasn't that way. It didn't.
But it's gotten a lot
to be
better.
honest, I'm just coming from my perspective. When I came in, maybe near the end of 2021, 2022, early 2022, I didn't really see a lot of fighting other than I'll just be honest and call them Thelma and Louise. They, yeah, were a center of stuff. But I didn't really see that with a lot of other people. I mean, yeah, some, but not as much as because I went, ooh, okay, this is easy compared to another space I have seen up front. So that's my perspective. I honestly looked at it and go, this has actually been easier to deal with because people are still putting out content and they're still doing stuff. Their content isn't conflict, right? So it isn't just, okay, I'm going to do a live stream talking about one or two people and attack them or do attack videos and that's it. It's people that are put out content about this biracial celebrity maybe, or this biracial aspect. So content gets put out, people still do their things, but yeah, they come on live streams and there are disagreements. But again, it moves a lot smoother, or at least some smoothness and some function. It's functional space. That's the difference. I don't know what it was like before I came, but it's functional, to be honest.
I promote us having lots of spaces because, you know, we all know we're not going to get along just because we're mixed race. That's why we need to have a lot of different spaces where we could find different biracial people who hold different values.
That should be the case. But unfortunately, in the nature of YouTube, I guess there aren't a lot of biracial content creators or panelists or people in the chat. Excuse me. And so I assume there aren't a lot of spaces. I wish there were, but I don't guess there aren't. So
well, like we're still like relatively like a small space, so I kind of get where she's like coming from.
Mm-hmm. In one sense, that's good because if it's a small space, you know, it's easier to enforce discipline. It's easier to enforce certain things. Because one of the things that I've done when I've done occasional lives, I'm not a biracial content creator per se. I'm not. I have a sci-fi and, you know, movie and TV channel, and I do some biracial lives, right? Lives about biracial things. But what I find is there is a need to secure the space or spaces that are already here, and you have to protect what you have. That's one of the things that I would say to people. You have to protect what you have. And the way you do that, because I've seen what can happen when you don't, when a space is not protected. It becomes.
No, you're absolutely right. Actually, one of my ways to protect each other was stay away from detractors, right? Because there's people who are only here for attention. They are only here to cause drama, and I think we did do a good job. Like I see this side kind of building amongst people who actually want to build, and it's really productive.
Right.
Shout out to S. Larvidian, or I don't know how to say it. Larvidian. What's up? What's up?
Right. I think that's a good point because, and I said this to someone, the biracial spaces, the difference is that the biracial spaces don't allow too much quote unquote garbage. They make sure the trash is taken out. That's what I've noticed. People will not tolerate stuff. Yeah. People will not tolerate things here for too long. I mean, there may be a little bit tolerance for some content creators, but if you get out of hand or you do something and people get fed up, they're going to say, you got to go. You got to go. That's why my suggestion is this. This is what I stress. I say, when you are in monoracial spaces, if you're going to deal with monoracial issues, that's fine. But you don't, my suggestion is don't bring biracial stuff there and don't bring attention to yourself as a biracial person. Because if you're somebody who is a very problematic and difficult person, hint, hint, and you go into another space and you start arguing and fighting and screaming and yelling and saying, I'm biracial and I come from a biracial space, that word filters out and people go, oh, is this how biracial content creators are in their space? Is this how they behave? Is this how they treat each other or treat not each other, but treat people who aren't biracial? See,
those
you're absolutely right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so I don't even go into those spaces at all because I already know that these people are not really going to get anything. So what's the point? People are not going to value stuff that they don't get. So there's no
Right.
business for us to even be over there in the first place unless you're just there just to stir the pot and fight with people online. Very counterproductive, if you ask me.
I think that's a perfectly good on your part. That's a good way to look at it. I've gone into monoracial spaces, but I deal with the topics there. I don't discuss being biracial in monoracial spaces because I don't think that's respectful. I don't want monoracial people coming here and saying, but you have to do, because you have a couple of those infiltrators that come in and they try to spread the one drop rule.
So you're talking, so Al, so you're talking about people going into monoracial spaces and bringing up biracial issues,
or saying that they're biracial and they're in a biracial space.
Okay.
I'm trying to be subtle here. I'm trying to be subtle, but that
we know.
Again, yeah. So what I'm saying is, and I hate saying this, but because of this, I have to say, your behavior and your conduct as a biracial person, if you're in other spaces, counts, because people are already judgmental and critical of mixed race people. They think there are stereotypes. There are very horrible stereotypes of my biracial people. One of them is mental health, that there is insanity or people are crazy. That's an aspect that impacts biracial people. It could, because I've heard that stereotype before. I've heard that used. You also have the ideas, the racist, disgustingly racist ideas that, well, for one thing, biracial men are effeminate and weak and soft. Black, white, biracial men. And you also have the ideas of superiority, right? Biracial people think they're better. They got all these advantages, and they're gonna come to this space to lord it over us, and they're gonna do that. And again, you have to be careful when you deal with monoracial people. I hate to say that, but it's true, because I've heard some monoracial people say very racist things about biracial people. Right? You've seen some of the stuff on Twitter, right? I mean, that just is beyond offensive. It's just outright,
it is.
That's outright, and it's outright. How do I put this? It's outright hatred. It's outright, we need to get rid of you. That kind of aspect. So, I mean, it's unfortunate.
Well, that's the purpose of the stream, though. Like, that's the purpose of the stream. Like, because me and Magic were supposed to do this weeks ago because we were noticing just all of just the onslaught of just hatred online, and we're like, but we just haven't had the time, schedule issues. But yeah, we've been seeing, this. I had this feeling of like, man, if they could, they would probably try to get rid of us, right, on both sides. So it's like, oh shit. So it's like, and to your point with the people going in. Hold on, real quick. To the point where you said people are going into these spaces. Well, some people do that, let's be honest, to try to get subscribers, basically off of making a fool of themselves. That it's like I've seen a lot of people do that. They'll try to like just to kind of like make themselves look crazy. Well, some of them are crazy as hell, but they want to like be a character in a way where people are interested in them. So they don't mind looking like a fool because they don't really have nothing to lose. And they're like, well, this is all I have. This is YouTube. This is my job now. So I gotta try to make some money.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because that's one of the 3 points about what fuels YouTube. One of the things to watch out for that I mentioned on my channel when I did shows about YouTube. There's what I call conflict, controversy, and character. What happens is that people think those can help your channel. Those can fuel your channel. But they, at the end of the day, they peter out. They run out. And then how are you going to get your channel to continue without all of that? So people love to be, I notice people play characters on YouTube. And I find this strange because I've actually heard that there are people that will act a certain way on YouTube. And if someone met them outside of YouTube, they're totally different. They behave different. Their whole demeanor, their personality, their behavior is wholly different person. But they get on YouTube and they act like a complete and utter raving idiot and moron and imbecile.
And some of them are that way in real life too, though.
Well, some of them are. That's true. That's true. No, you're right. You're right.
I learned my lesson in these spaces. We got to be very careful who we're representing us and who we let speak for us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to be very careful, because are they just putting on a show and just doing it for attention and just doing it for clout, or they really do want to see us progress as a people? So it's very easy to tell. Like, we know the difference. So it's just, we got to be very careful who we let.
Magic is noting what has emerged recently, and that's why I mentioned securing biracial spaces. You got to be careful about the kinds of people that come into the space, not just monoracial, which was one thing, but biracial, because not all biracial people want to be biracial, like being biracial. You just featured a woman, I think, in a video who stated that she doesn't advise or doesn't recommend being biracial.
Yeah.
You know,
did you see my comments in regards to her, Al and Anthony?
Yeah, I saw it.
No,
that's why I was saying I think she's full of it, because you go ahead.
Yeah, she is, though, because if you actually listen to her earlier videos, she admits that she likes biracials with black mothers, and that she wished that she wasn't the biracial who had the white mother and black dad. If you're going to say that I don't recommend being such and such, then you have to be very consistent with it, though, and practice whatever it is you're preaching. So she might as well not even support or even recommend being a biracial with a black mother. You got to go all the way, not half the way, because it's an all or nothing type of scenario. Just saying.
It's kind of odd language to use, though. Like, I don't recommend or I don't advise you being biracial. Like, okay.
Oh my God.
Like, it's not being biracial is not a career. It's not like you say, you know what, I would not advise you to be a postal worker. I would not advise you to be a civil rights attorney. I would not advise you.
Did she say she don't recommend it? She's like, I don't recommend.
She says she doesn't recommend it, though, but she says that she wishes that she had a black mother and a white dad, essentially. She's not consistent at all. That girl is just a self-aggrandizing attention seeker. Yep. I can see it from a mile away because I've been around this for years. You can spot them easily.
Yeah, I don't understand. I have to be very brutally honest and say I don't understand the whole mother thing when it comes to a number of biracial people. Like, I my white mother, black mother, I don't. That really seems to be an issue, especially for women. And I don't want to.
It's a black feminist. It's a black feminist thing.
Narrative. It's like a weird competitive thing that they feel like, we make better biracial people. It's very strange and weird, and I don't like it. I think it's very weird. It just doesn't do nothing to divide us. I don't think we should feed into that narrative. I don't think either way you biracial, whether you got white mom, black mom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a black, but the girl is a black feminist. So it makes sense because she wishes she was a black woman. And, a lot of black feminist women, they're going to respect a biracial that has a black, they're divester. They have that divester mindset. So they're going to respect someone, they themselves might want a white man. Right. So that's probably why.
Here. Oh, let me answer this question. How do you think you can control who speaks for biracial people? This is a YouTube. You're not even who we give attention to. We got the power. People have the power to prop people up on a pedestal. If we give them the attention, then that's who are we paying attention to? If we're paying attention to people who are on the BS and on the nonsense, then that's us giving our power and making them speak for us. But if we're paying attention to people who are actually trying to help us and push us forward, it's about us and who we're paying attention to, basically. Just like any other thing. That's how who are we supporting? That's because the power.
I would say this. We are the main voices here. Because you can't show me another mixed or biracial mulatto space You can't show me that. You could show me individuals, but you can't show me another space. I've never seen it. So when you say you're not even the main voices here, yeah, I think we actually are. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, who is this? Who's this talking? Too sexy for the is it?
It's probably
So
just
is that like
troll.
a troll or something?
It's
Yeah.
not
Probably.
controlling. It's just about who are you choosing to support. Because attention, what's that saying? Attention is the new currency, right? So you got to be very careful about who you're paying attention to because you're paying them. So you're giving
On
them your
YouTube,
energy,
yeah.
you're empowering them. So that's all.
Right.
Gigi's
Well, I would add. Here's what I would add to that. That's a good point, Magic. Here's what I would add to that. It's also a matter of what are people in the space doing. So you have to judge people not just by their behavior and their deportment, but also by their conduct, what they're saying on panels and what they're doing on their channels. So if they are biracial content creators and they're, or, you know, even if they're not making biracial content, you have to judge them based on what you can see and what's going out there. You know, you can be biracial and not be biracial content.
Can I say on top of that, Al? But I agree with that. But I think that your conduct should even extend to how you conduct yourself, even behind the scenes, because you may not be
I would
drama
agree.
publicly, but you are drama privately. Because I know that is still going on with a lot of people still spreading a bunch of good, you know, gossip and talking a whole bunch of mess in the discords. I know that is still happening. So I think that matters just as much as how you conduct yourself publicly. Just
not my
saying.
Discord.
Okay.
Everyone was always
now,
assuming that would happen in my Discord, but I don't. I just like to connect with people and talk. And
Yeah,
that don't happen.
even for people who are sending me like all their private DMs acting such and such, I'm like, stop.
now,
Because
see,
you're
I don't
showing how
really know
two-faced
what
you are.
goes on this. I have to be honest, I don't know what goes on Discords. So that part I don't have any access to. But I think that's a very good point, Emma. That's a very good point. And but I can't speak to that personally because I don't know what goes on in Discords. I
Discord
assume it's
and also on
100 times
Facebook
worse.
too.
Yeah, I assume it's 100 times worse.
It's not bad. Discord's fun. People like to assume what like Discord's a great way to connect with people and it's a great way to like, you know, build and talk and just not in a private setting and it's offline and you know what I'm saying? So I think Discord's a great tool for us, honestly. But people are like, just use it. It's like any other thing. You could use it for the wrong reasons or you could use it for the right reasons, you know, just like any other thing in the universe. So you know.
But yeah, Magic. But I do like that rule that you also enforce in your rule in regards to somebody has any personal grievances with such and such, they need to go to that person.
Yeah,
not really go to you about it like privately.
Mm-hmm.
Like for those who have personal grievances with me, you know how to reach out to me.
Yeah, we grown. We too grown for all that. So
exactly.
Yeah, you know, again, you know, it just to note again, you have to the sad thing is this, it's both sad, but it's also reality, you know, but it's also just pragmatism. You have to understand that as a biracial person, you're not going to, and a black-white is biracial especially, you're not going to be accorded the same kind of acceptance and approval and also chances that monoracial people get in other spaces and elsewhere, contrary to popular belief. Contrary to belief, biracial people get judged and can get judged quite harshly. And so if you're in a biracial space as a biracial person, whether you're on panels, whether you're in the chat, whether you do content on your channel, you have to take all that into account. And even if you go elsewhere, you have to take all this into account because you will not get the chances that other people do. And again, it's not fair and it may not be right, but it's reality. And so the only thing I can say, since I've been in this biracial space, over a year now, is that, again, when I go to a monoracial space, I don't talk about biracial spaces and vice versa. I don't talk about where I've been elsewhere because I don't think that's relevant to the space. I don't really think it's anyone, where it's a biracial space dealing with the issues, concerns, and aspects of Black, white, biracial.
Well,
and
who
other kinds
does,
of biracial people.
who does that though? Because I don't do that. So I don't really know who does that. Like when I go to these other spaces that might be monoracial spaces, I just, like you said, I talk about the topic, whatever the topic
Right.
is, right?
Right.
I don't bring up, this space or nothing like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know who's
Yeah.
doing that.
Well, I don't know. Well, I say that as a way to deal with things, right? So when you're dealing with, I say that as the easiest way to conduct yourself to do that is to just keep to the topic at hand. When you're in another space, you deal with that space. Like I can go to a sci-fi space. I don't deal with racial stuff. I deal with sci-fi stuff, and so but I'm used to doing that, right? As somebody who's been a writer, I've never brought any part of being mixed race into my career. Never wrote about it, never dealt with it in any way. It just doesn't have anything to do with it. So I'm used to kind of, and some people would say, well, you're compartmentalizing or you're bifurcating or you're separating. Yeah, I guess I'm doing that because my work is one thing, or what my work or my career was one thing, and who I am as a person and my life is another. And yeah, my work and career was part of my life, but there are other parts of my life too. Everything doesn't have to be blended together. And so what I find as a biracial person is being able to compartmentalize yourself is probably one way to work outside the space, and maybe sometimes to a minor extent within the space. You know what I mean? Again, it's unfortunately, it comes down to, because of events that have come up and actions that have come up, it's up to the individual and their conduct and the way they handle themselves within the space, and also how that impacts in regards to the space itself, keeping things. That's why I said securing biracial spaces. That what people do in regards to doing that is important, because if the wrong people come in and they have the wrong agendas, it will ultimately fracture and destroy the space.
Okay, so let me be real. When it comes to monoracial spaces, I don't even be in monoracial spaces like that no more, because I feel like their problems are not my issues, and I can't really relate to it. It is boring.
I'm in monoracial spaces. I'm in monoracial mulatto spaces.
Yeah.
No, but sure.
Yeah.
Way more fun. I don't know. We talk about things that relate to me, and when it comes, I don't know, because I go to monoracial spaces. What do they talk about? Gender war stuff, politics. That don't got nothing to do. That's not thinking about biracial people whatsoever. What else are they talking about? Transgender stuff or something like that. They're worrying about that. Like, I don't know. It's just boring topics. I don't know. I just feel like
The
The thing
drama.
is that I'm just going to just say to them is that, hey, I wish you guys very well upon your guys' endeavors, and then that's just going to be it, because I already know that we're just not going to agree on those deeper issues, because their issues are fundamentally separate from ours.
Exactly.
So yeah, like the trans issues, okay, I'm not really going to get into that, or the deep black issues, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, I don't relate that much to either of those two. So just out of respect, wish you guys well upon the endeavors, whatever you guys are pushing for, but see ya.
Well,
Because they also likewise think that our topics are probably just as boring. So we're even, if you think about it. We're even. So they think that we're boring and we think that they're boring. So therefore, let's just stay in our own merry little lanes.
Right. And that is the reason, that part of the reason I bring up that is because, there were some that felt that simply having a biracial space wasn't enough. You needed other opinions and other viewpoints and other individuals to weigh in on mixed race people and biracial and multiracial people. And my response to that is, this is a biracial space. And therefore, the whole point is so that people can come here and discuss the issues and the problems or joys or strengths and aspects that relate to them, not what other people feel they should do, not what other people think, not what other people's arguments are, unless it's dealing with the arguments against biracial people. Then of course that's relevant, right? Because monoracial people will have arguments and talking points that are anti-biracial. That's all fine to talk about. But at the end of the day, other opinions and points of view and aspects don't matter and don't relate. And so again, that's why I brought up, if I'm in a monoracial space, I can talk about monoracial issues, but I also understand I'm an outsider. I'm not ultimately going to be part of that community. You can have ancestry, but that doesn't make you part of that community. And so I understand that. And I understand that there's, I'm an outsider and there's only, I can have my say, but that's about it. My say isn't going to go very far. But that's why, that's why I note this. Again, without naming names, some people feel like there has to be an all-inclusive aspect. Again, you can't have a mixed race space if you don't care about mixed race people. You can't be a part of it.
Some people don't have the talent. That's what it is. Like, I've seen content creators who I could tell their only talent is drama. So that's, I've seen it all over YouTube where it's like they have to sell drama. And if some people say, oh, well, I'm in a mixed space, but then they keep just being all inclusive, then no, it's like you don't have enough talent to just stand on what you believe. You have to go to other communities and try to grab them and pull some of them in, because you really don't care about what you're talking about. Like, that's kind of how I take it.
And that's a problem, because you can't, it doesn't look good within a ethnic and racial community to have other people be a support mechanism within that space. It just doesn't look good. I mean, again, what good is having a biracial space if what monoracial and other ethnic and racial groups have to say counts more than biracial people? That's the antithesis of the space. And if you don't want to be around biracial people, then you got a problem. And again, you have some biracial people who simply don't like being around biracial people because biracial people are boring or uninteresting, or they're not exciting and they're not doing the things that you want to see. Well, I'm sorry if we're not up. This isn't about entertainment, right? And by the way, to those who feel that way, save the drama for your mom.
So yeah, I agree with Al 100%. I totally agree with you.
Al, there's actually a specific term for it, though. It's just called histrionic personality disorder. People with that personality disorder tend to become attracted to these kinds of circles.
So I've been like I said, I haven't been in monoracial spaces like that. I've been so immersed in this, like I've been so hyper focused on making sure we're progressing and making sure we're building our spaces and making sure, because we don't have nothing. So it's like I wanted just us to have spaces, like if we do want to go somewhere for entertainment, if we do want to go somewhere for education, we do want to go somewhere for this or that, or for whatever reason, we all got different roles to play. That is there, it's established. So I just want us to be established, and all of our different channels and all of our different roles we're playing is valid and it's good. And it's like, so I just been hyper focused on that. That's why I haven't really been focusing. Like there's a saying nowadays, like you got to decenter monoracial people, right? We're so used to centering them and putting on the forefront of everything of our whole lives and putting them before ourselves. And it's like, it's going to take some time to really deprogram that out of us and make sure we're centering ourselves and putting us on the forefront and putting us first before anything, right? Because we're taught that's a bad thing. We're taught that that's not good, that we think we're better or some BS. So we just got to make sure we center ourselves in our space. That's the whole
At
point.
the end of the day, even if we think we're better, so what? Just like when Radical was talking about, oh, if we got privilege, so what? Okay, if we think we're better, so what? Are we supposed to think we're not better? Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I think I'm better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just natural competition.
Equal. That's how we're ideally supposed to think. Like, some people are better in different areas than other people, and that's okay. But there's this girl that came on my TikTok real quick. She was like, "Oh, I don't mean to like center myself. I don't mean to do that." She was so like timid and scared to like speak her mind and just take up space. And I was like, "No, this is a biracial space." Like, I could tell she's not used to that at all. Like, she was like 50 years old.
All of that is, right. What you were saying is alien to me. I don't get, I mean, to me, I'm like, because I come from, over a decade of being on biracial social media groups where.
No, you never heard of this stuff. It's like, there'd be 40, 50, 60 years old, first time being introduced to a biracial space. Like, it's not something that's common, utilized. So, and they're scared. They're like, I don't want to take up space. I don't want to center myself. I apologize. I'm like, no, this is the space where you're meant to take space and you're meant to voice your opinion, and because we're so used to being
you're the center of attention in this space because it's a biracial space. And guess what? You're biracial, you're multiracial, you're mixed race. It's a space for you.
Yes.
That's the point. That's the point. And so I'm like, I mean, when some of the attitudes, it's like, and maybe it's because I've come from mixed race spaces on social media where I've dealt with, I call them wannabes, and I've dealt with the militants who didn't like me because I said, yeah, I'm biracial. Yeah, I don't play I'm actually monoracial game. No, I don't do that. And they didn't like that, and they didn't like me. And I didn't really
care. But that's
care.
why they gotta see strength, Magic. They gotta see us standing up and being like strong. Like, it's gonna take some time, but like, that's just how it is. We're gonna have to be strong and just stand firm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They're not used to. I'll be honest. I understand that I saw this on again. I state this because I've seen this before, a little of this or a degree of this. I was on mixed race, and I'm still on mixed race social media groups. But when I was on these groups, you had people that weren't used to someone like me. I don't have those issues and problems and hangups and syndromes and all that. And it's not because, I'm a better person. I'm not any better than any other biracial person. It's because I grew up in a different environment where I got to be mixed race. And I didn't shy away from it or look down on it or anything. I was just mixed race. That was that. And so when I go in another environment, I'm like, why are you guys ashamed? Why do you think monoracial people are better than you? They're not better than me. I mean, I hate to quote Muhammad Ali. Right. I mean, I hate to quote Muhammad Ali. I hate to quote Muhammad Ali, but I'm the greatest. You'll fall in the round I call. But, that's I just realized they're not used to a biracial guy like me. I just realized that and again, I was told this by biracial guys. I was told by biracial men on these social media groups. You do know that there are stereotypes about black, white, biracial men. I'm in my 40s. I'm like, this is the first time I've heard this. I never had this thrown at me in my life. So I don't know. I mean, I've had to get used to a certain amount of stuff. And I'm like, why are you guys being, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I'm, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm the $6 million man in a world of non-bionic people. It's just weird. That's
when it comes to the matters of people thinking that we're better or something because we make it known that we're like different or something.
But
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, what I was saying is that if people think that we're better because we say that we're different, then who cares? So what? I
That's
think
what
that
I'm
if you're going
saying.
to if you're going to be in this game, then I think that you ought to develop thick skin and stop trying to people please, because we do that too damn much. There's no point in doing that when you yourself don't even like everybody. So who cares? That's what too many of us do. Like I have, and not only that, I have so many enemies on all sides of the aisle, including people in the space who don't even like
yeah,
me.
go ahead.
Do I care? Why should you?
Well, just like Al said, like Muhammad Ali. I mean, was he not going around saying I'm the greatest? I'm the greatest. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. Like America's about competition. So if we think we're better, then yeah, exactly. So what? You got people who are white who think they're better. You got people who are Latino who think they're better, and you got black people say, "Oh, I'm melanated. I got the melon, black of the berry." You guys are half cave beasts. So they think they're better. So I mean, why not?
Yeah,
think
like
we're better?
if you have like a strong mind and thick skin and nothing to lose, why care?
I'm telling you, but that's a part of psychological warfare, like I was talking about. They want to say, hey, oh, you
Right.
think you're better, you think you're better. So we sit here and humble ourselves and make sure we don't have no sense of self-esteem or self-worth or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I fell into that BS. I used to sit here and always try to downplay myself and always sit here and try to shimmer myself down so make people feel comfortable, and screw all that. I'm not coddling to nobody's insecurities no more. Like he said, like somebody in the comments said that, and I like that. So we got to stop doing that. We got to stop making ourselves small so that people can feel comfortable with us. We got to stop.
In some ways, though, we do have better characteristics just as much as everybody else has their characteristics that may be better and unique. You can use your ambiguity to navigate throughout society and be able to probably connect or even code switch with whatever it is you're composed of.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something when what Magic said. I kind of get why, like you like you were saying that you have a lot of people that are your enemies or whatever, or adversaries or whatever. I don't know if I have a lot, but I have some, I guess. And I realize now, again, like I was thinking, because I come from a different environment and a different way of thinking and a different approach to things, I see how people can't handle, some people, maybe a couple or some, can't handle that. They're not used to it. I think, unfortunately, even some biracial people believe the stereotypes about black, white, biracial men. I hate to say it, but I believe they do. And so when you have somebody who comes along who doesn't care what they think, or isn't trying to like curry favor with people outside of the biracial spaces or whatever, to the extent that they are, yeah, I can kind of see how that is. I kind of realize when I got here on YouTube just how powerful stereotypes are about biracial people within circles of biracial people. There are people who have been conditioned and socialized to believe it. They don't want to admit it, but they've been conditioned and socialized to believe it. So that's why maybe some of the issues are difficult.
Yeah, it's like warfare. It all goes back to that. It's like, I'm telling you, that plays a big role in what's going on with how we are. And we internalize a lot of the negative propaganda and stuff like that. And we think that's the reality, but it's just a narrative. Like there's a difference between people painting a narrative and the truth, right? So we got to be truth seekers and not just believe what people tell us, especially about our own self, especially when people try to tell us about our own history and our own heritage and our own identity. Like, no, we can't let nobody tell us nothing. So
Nah, yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying, like just standing up, standing firm on who you are, like, and not being scared. See, some people, again, they have this allegiance to other communities, so this unhealthy allegiance to other communities. So they still, I feel like they still don't see themselves really as being mixed or biracial. They still see themselves
Right.
as like
That's
one
true.
race. Yeah, so they're kind of like almost operating as like a double agent. You know what I mean? Like a double agent in a way where they're like, okay,
They
let me see
could
what
be if
y'all
they're in
doing.
biracial spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, let me see what
You
y'all
know.
doing. Okay, now let me go back to this community and
Mhm.
try to expose y'all. So it's like you're just exposing yourself,
Yeah. Cue up Secret Agent Man on the soundtrack. But it's true. And that's what, when you say allegiance to communities, yeah, because being biracial for a lot of people isn't a thing. I mean, it's what they are, but they're like, well, we don't have a culture and we don't have a community and we don't have a history and we don't have all that. And it's like, I'm going, well, I had to learn biracial history. What I know, I wasn't taught to me in school. I didn't know anything about it, and yeah, I, it's true. I mean, the people feel this way, and I understand because they don't have a sense of who they are as a biracial person. Like I said, being biracial wasn't important in my life, but I know it was mixed race. I know I'm biracial. I know, that's what I am. I never even get black community looking the way I am and going around saying, yeah, I'm a black guy. No, that's not going to fly.
When you were growing up in Hawaii, how many, like, were you around a lot of black people, or were you around more white people, or was it just all mixed race people, or all like?
It was more people of, okay, yeah, it was more people of other ethnicities. So I wasn't around black or white, to be honest with you. And so for me, both of those are kind of, how do I put it?
You wasn't around nobody, but that's crazy.
I'm just wondering if anybody's going to try to click.
You don't have that black, you pick a side pressure because you weren't around white or black people.
I found them very different. I found it kind of exotic. I hate the term exotic. I hate that. But I found it different because I didn't grow up in those communities. So I didn't really know a lot about that. And so even now, I look at, what goes on in terms of African-American communities and stuff like that. And I go,
from what I saw in Hawaii, it is definitely very diverse. Like you see a certain type of, I guess, melanin that's just you're not used to. It's like you see someone that looks like they're black, but then they're Samoan, and you're like, what the hell?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got family in Oahu, so like I don't know where you're at, but yeah. So when I'm over there, it's like
a lot of. There seem to be a lot.
You're breaking up a little bit. Let me address this comment. It said, well, that's the way this country was set up for a lot of mixed people back in the day. You're talking about the one drop rule. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are still living by that. So they can't break that, and that I think that has to do a lot of some of the older generation snapped out of it, but I see that with a lot of the older 40 plus people. They're kind of stuck in that mindset where they're just I'm just gonna be black. That's it. Whatever. I don't care. I'll take the hits. I'll take the jokes. It is what it is. And then that's what I'm seeing. But some of the older generation have snapped out of it, and they're able to basically advise us and guide us and give us a lot of wisdom that I'm definitely, thankful for too.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, I've had a couple people when I was in biracial groups basically say I didn't have the option of being biracial. I don't have the option of being mixed race. It was just you're black or I don't know if you're white, but you're black and that's that. And so you do have to concede that things are.
Al, you are breaking up.
Different people in
different environments. Breaking up, man.
different places. I could see.
Still breaking up.
I don't say that my experience be the norm for everyone.
We honestly missed more than half of what you were talking about.
Yeah, you were kind of
But
breaking up there.
when it comes to
Please
like
drop it
biracial
back out.
categories and that kind of stuff, since I see that in the chat, it's only been since 23 years ago where we were actually allowed to check more than one racial box on forms.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
go
gonna
ahead.
close out in the next like 5 minutes. I know Magic got her stream. It's in like what, like 10 minutes, right? You can go live.
oh, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go live on TikTok and talk about, I kind of want to talk about like the good things about me. That's gonna trigger a lot of people, but I do want us to like start more, have that safe space to open up and heal, but also let's talk about the positive sides of it and be happy and build up our self-esteem around it. So I'm gonna be there. Yeah, you can be there. I'll go live in I'm gonna live in like 10 minutes. Yay.
I mean, I could go, but I can't I can't join. So like that kind of sucks. Yeah, it kind of sucks. It's like Mulatto. A lot of my family left New Orleans for Los Angeles back in the day. They said it was much better because of the diversity. See, that's why I like Florida, because Florida got a lot of diversity, especially in like Orlando. A lot of people who we could just blend straight in. Al's trying to come back. What's up, Al? You good?
How do I sound? Do I sound all right?
Yeah, you sound
good.
Okay. Yeah, StreamYard, playing StreamYard games with me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna close out. So if you guys want to give your final thoughts, if you could talk to the topic or not, it's up to you. But the original topic is how do we protect ourselves and support each other. Yeah, or you could just close out however you want. It's all good.
Yeah, I can start. So I think that somebody addressed earlier about how even us as content creators, some of us are not going to like each other, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there are a couple who I'm not exactly a fan of, and they're not exactly a fan of me. But this is what I'll say. I would still stand up for them in case things really started to hit the fan. Because in my perspective, they are a bunch of people out there who would like to delete both me and them because of our DNA. So when stuff does hit the fan, I'm going to be the first to have their backs. I just hope that it'll be reciprocal.
That's a good point. Like,
Yep.
I do think like if there's ever like some type of some type of civil war thing, I don't think I'm gonna be, where I live, I think I'm good. But in certain areas in the country, I think people who look like us are definitely gonna have some problems. Because let's say, for example, a hypothetical, there was a race war. A lot of us are gonna be looked at as Latinos. So if you have black going against Latino, for example, in the South, we're pretty much on the chopping block. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So yeah, we don't have to like each other, but if it got that severe, which there are a handful of people who would love for something like that to come to fruition, hey, let's stand up for them, even if we are two content creators who may have some personal issues or grievances about one another. I actually have the humility to actually do that, but I just hope that you have the ability to do the same.
Oh,
Yep.
nah,
Okay.
I'm letting them hold their own nuts too. Nah.
Yeah, I think
They could go who they defended, But
right.
Right.
So let me go real quick and then I'm gonna jump off. So I think Envy said it all. Mulatto Vanguard, learn a martial art, purchase a firearm, support other mulatto content creators, support their business, various boom. I think he said it all right there. I really like that. I like what he said. Make sure you guys stay up on game. There's always going to be new narratives and new things that we got to combat, that we got to make sure we're not falling for the BS. in the psychological warfare game that's going on social media. And we just got to make sure, in real life, make sure we're protecting ourselves in real life. Like that's a whole different game than, than the political, psychological warfare that's going on. But yeah, I think we're going to be all right. We're smart. We're going to come up on top no matter what we do. We're doing the right thing. We're making progress. We're pushing forward. And I'm really proud of us, really, as like a group. I'm really proud of us. Like I've seen a lot of progress in this year, and I think we're unstoppable. Once we realize like who we are, we know who we are, we know our history, we know our identity, and I think we're going to be unstoppable. Really, who's going to stop us? Who's going to check us? So
they can't.
Yeah,
and shout out to David. Shout out to David too. We all had some good conversations in the Discord. We got to definitely set up more the chats in the Discord.
David.
Hopefully he can come on a live stream one day.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's been so fun. I'm gonna go live on TikTok in a little bit, and we're gonna do like, more of these topics and stuff over there. Just like, for all of us. I love y'all so much. It was a great stream, and we finally did it. I think it's really good. Okay, y'all. Bye, Georgia. Bye, Al. Bye, guys. Bye, chat.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, go ahead, Al. I ain't forget about you, man. Go ahead.
All right.
Take it away, Al.
All right. So let me try to do this before StreamYard kicks me off.
It's already messing up.
So let's just limit this. So when we talk about protecting biracial individuals and support. Oh, how's it now?
All right,
So that's a little better. A little better. But you were breaking up a lot earlier.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
Okay, so let me again try to do this as fast as I can. Let's limit it to YouTube, right? So when it comes to YouTube, protecting and of course supporting. Protecting is by being careful to, at the very least, be choosy about, if you want to vet, but be wary of people that come into the space, whether they are monoracial or biracial, right? So if you know anything about their past track record, if you know anything about, essentially if they're a biracial content creator, they're biracial and they're content creator, if these are individuals that have a history of making, say, anti-biracial remarks, they're biracial or who are more monoracially inclined, be aware of that and be careful about the people that you deal with on your panels and also what they say on the panels, right? So you don't want people coming on the panels who are going to spew things that are detrimental to a biracial space, the maintenance to a biracial space on YouTube, or aspects of being biracial.
You were good, but it's cutting up a little bit now.
Propaganda. You don't want that person on your panel. Make sure to get them off. Right?
I'm gonna mute you real quick because you're chopping. You're choppy a little bit.
Be careful about people you have, right? In terms of support. Well, I was going to say support means live streams, right? So come to live.
Got that Waffle. You leave the Waffle House, drive to your crib, get that Wi-Fi. It was working for a little bit, but it's cutting out now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's StreamYard. It's StreamYard. Anyway, like I said, I don't know what that Waffle House is, but anyway, like I said, support meaning the aspect of support would mean, come to live streams. You have a live stream like this, come support it. Come in the chat, come on panels if you want to, but support it or even watch it, right? That's a way, or like, right? Another aspect of support is subscribing. So subscribe to biracial channels, right? And possible, if you want, you can even promote biracial channels, right? So if here's a biracial content creator you like on YouTube, you could say, hey, check out this person. Do it as a community post or let people know, hey, this is a person who's doing content I like. They're biracial. They're engaged in aspects of the space that work. These are all elements in regards to YouTube. So I'll limit it to YouTube. So that's how you can protect yourself. In space.
You went out that
Allow
last
on
5
panel
seconds.
suspension. We're doing things that are annual and promote and support other content creators. And that's it. I gotta go. Or StreamYard's gonna kick my butt. I gotta go. Bye.
All right. All right. All right.
All right, man. You have a good evening.
All right. Peace. I'll see you in Discord.
Likewise.
All right. Peace. All right. That's it. That's it. That's it. My man had that Waffle House Wi-Fi. It just wouldn't connect for him, man. It's all good. But yeah, shout out to David. Shout out to S. I'm just gonna say S. Shout out to Vanguard. You know, it was definitely a good stream. We got all the points across. You know, I wanted to make this stream because I feel like we got to put this stuff out here. We got to understand how to defend ourselves. You know, I mean, we could even make a part 2 to this, but I think this was sufficient for now. You know, some of the things we touched on was martial arts, staying away from detractors, taking back our history, taking back our figures, you right? Taking back the name. Be proud of the name Mulatto. You know what I'm saying? We got one. Like I said, Blasian's got a name, but it was never on the census. We actually have a name that was actually on the US Census. We had an identity, they took it away, and we gotta rep it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. What else we cover real quick while I'm here by myself? You know what I mean? Let's see. You know, we got creating spaces. You know, yeah, we gotta think about the future generations. You know, let's see. What else? What am I? You say your great grandparents? Yeah, I was talking. Oh yeah, you wasn't here earlier. I was saying my grandmother is listed as mulatto, and her father is listed as. One day I might show it. The only reason I didn't want to show it is because I don't want people. We got stalkers in these spaces. A couple of them came in my stream today. They got blocked ASAP. We got stalkers. There's people that are so crazy. They'll look at the census number on the top. It might be they go on ancestry.com and try to find your family. Try to find your last name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, my grandma is listed as mulatto, and so is her father. So it's very, very interesting. And I mean, she looks mixed. You know what I mean? It's a lot of our stories, but unfortunately, it got wiped out. I would say, at least in Louisiana, the Creole population, to some degree, or to a large degree, they was able to maintain their identity. They got a flag and everything like that, which is really, really, really cool. So that's why I love it when people come here that are part of that ancestry, so we could build and just kind of continue that legacy, right? Build upon that legacy. Yeah, I want to go there. I've been trying to go to Louisiana for a while, but for some reason, the plane tickets to get there are expensive. It's crazy. Like if I fly to Florida, it's not that bad, but if I try to fly to New Orleans, it's very expensive. But eventually, I'm gonna go tour that French Quarter. I heard they got some plantations over there I want to see. Maybe I'll try to see if I can interview somebody that's Creole, talk about the history. And I think it's real cool. Like I actually have some French ancestry also. So that's real cool. So that's why when I see somebody who is Creole, it's real cool because we have a similar genetic makeup, right? So yeah. He said I figured that guy earlier in the chat was yeah. I blocked him too. I blocked like 3 people today because you already know. I could kind of sense it, The Whitney Plantation. Okay, that's what it's called. Yeah, I want to visit that. Then there's like a graveyard over there. They got the voodoo stuff. Like there's a lot I want to do over there. But I'm gonna have to go on a serious diet because all that fried food that I'll be seeing, I'm like, I'm about to be tearing that food up, that gumbo, everything. But I really want to go there and talk to people that are Creole, and just maybe see if I could learn about the history. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'd be cool. You said Mulatto. Oh, damn, what the hell? Said Mulatto Ben and Baton Rouge. I heard Baton Rouge is dangerous as hell. Did you go there, Vanguard? I think you put up a picture over there or something, right? Hey, S, are you there now? Like, are you in New Orleans now? From every time I meet somebody from like New Orleans, they don't live in New Orleans. They're like, they be moving out of New Orleans. So it's funny though. Oh, you said you were there. Okay, that's cool. I knew you were gonna come back up, man. What's up, man?
Yeah. Yeah, only just because, okay, since we're talking about the Louis Creoles in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, okay, you know what? I think I have to say something. Right? I'm like, wait a minute.
It's all good. I'm surprised you didn't say something earlier when you seen S in the chat, because
I wanted to. I wanted to, but we were just all talking about whatever it was we were talking about. So I decided to just focus on that and then bring up the Creole stuff later.
Okay.
But what I will say this, Anthony, and to everybody in the chat, is learn about Marie-Therese Coin. She was actually a Creole woman in the 1790s who established a successful community along the Cane River. It's in the Natchitoches Parish, which is more so like southwest Louisiana. And then she was also Marie-Therese Coin.
Okay. All right.
And then also she was like married to Claude Pierre Matoyer. They also had I think about 10 kids together. So it's a lot of rich history to it though. Now, although she herself was a slave owner, she became a slave owner in order to buy other people their freedom. So they worked closely together with her, along with just giving them a semblance of a normal life. It's really fascinating stuff. So that's just why Creoles of Louisiana were also pioneered as being the true abolitionists of slavery. And yeah, I also do come from that line. It's really cool and fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it is cool, man. That's why, one day, we're gonna have a show to talk about the history. Maybe you can call up. S in the chat could call up. She's not too scared, and we could just go deep into the history. I could try to do some research too, and I think that would be a fascinating show. Pull up some videos and just learn about it, because I think it is important.
Yeah. I also uploaded 2 videos on my channel regarding at least the typical New Orleans Creole, what we consist of, maybe our standard look from the time, etc. S. Larvadane, hey cousin, yeah, more than likely me and her are related. I wouldn't be surprised whether we were. And I also want to ask S. Larvadane in the chat, do you speak any of the Corey Vinny? Because I can speak it too.
Let's see.
Corey
Family
Vinny, by
reunion.
the way, is the French Creole language. That is actually an endangered language. So I have to do my part to keep it up, bro, because it's been around since the 1740s. That's concerning to me, man. So I have been learning it. Well, how about I teach you a little bit of it, since you're saying nah? Okay, so quoi c'est ton nom? What's your name? Bon matin. Good morning. Bonsoir. Good evening. Mopa connais. I don't know. Mopa kensha. I don't have it. We could do an entire language lesson here, but I think we should save that for another time. But that's Corey Vinny.
That's cool though. That's cool, man. I'm big into the language thing, and I'm noticing a lot of us are big into the language thing. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think you already saw on one of my community tabs where I actually shared my ancestral ties in the communities I come from.
Did I see the community tab? No, I didn't see that. Is it on?
But yeah.
What page is it on?
It's on my account. It's on my my platform.
All right,
but yeah, it said the Afro Americans of
oh, I did see that.
South,
I did see that.
Along with the Louis Creoles. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or the Creolados of New Orleans, I should say, as a new term that you coined. But yep.
That's cool, man. That's
and
cool.
She says, on parle hun. Yep. Okay, so you do kind of get some of it though. But what's just unique about the language, man, is that a person who is from France is probably not going to understand it fully, because it's it's pretty much like an amalgamation of like the Portuguese and like West African language, and then of course like the French, because it still is a francophone influenced language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Passe blanc. Pass for white.
Passe blanc. Okay, so she actually gets some of it too, though. No, don't get me wrong, I'm still learning it myself, but it still is like a fascinating language that even she ought to like maybe get into learning.
Yeah, we're gonna do that show, man. We're gonna talk about that history again. Hopefully, S can call up.
But yes, but yeah, just look into like Marie Therese Coin, Claude Pierre Metoyer. They were married, and they were just, you know, essentially like the early like pioneers of the early Louisiana Creole or / Cane River Creole communities, dating back to 18th century.
There's a book called okay, I typed her in right now. Marie Therese Coin. Okay, I'm gonna check it out after I end the stream. But there's a book where they talk about, it's called Sula, where she talked, one of her like parents was like Creole. So it's interesting. It's a fictional book, but it's like they're living somewhere, I think in the Midwest, but her mother, the girl Sula, she's like a lighter complexion, but her mother, I think, was Creole. So in the book, they talk about going to Louisiana, the Creoles. It's really cool to see that. But let's see.
And their descendants still live there in that area. Yeah, more than likely they do. And a lot of the descendants are still kind of like around like the St. Augustine Church, which is, by the way, the church that our people built.
That's cool, man. I'm definitely gonna look. I'm looking it up right now, actually, but yeah, I'm gonna look into that. We're gonna do a show about that. Is this the last names that she put here?
Yep, the Metoyers, the Rockgiles, and the Augustines. Yep, she hit the nail in the coffin.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if we really are related. I mean, at the time, the community like was small until we just started like branching out, but we could be like distant relatives. I won't be surprised.
Yeah, that's cool. But all right, bro, I'm gonna close out.
Man, you really predicted my return.
I know.
I'm just like, you're talking about my people and my history. Man. I mean, I'm not going to say my history. You know, I'm going to say ours, you know, because either way, they were still MLS people, and we're still all MLS.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
All right,
man.
You can close it now.
Discord.
Likewise.
All right. But all right, you seen that he came out, gave y'all that history. S was dropping that history. That's cool. Yeah, one day we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna, subscribe to him too. Millennial Mulatto, George, we're gonna have to do a show about that, because I think it's very interesting to see like what actually can happen when we do come together. And I feel like the Louis Creole is a perfect example of that, from just what I know, where they were able to kind of do that. And on this side, like on more of the southeast, northeast, we pretty much been kind of prevented from, we were kind of prevented from doing that. You know what I'm saying? So now we could maybe we could look to them and learn some stuff, right? Learn how they, by seeing the history, learn how they were able to keep the community tight knit, how they were able to develop the languages, where it came from. You know what I mean? The mindset. It's still a lot to learn, and some stuff that we could take into the future. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how I'm gonna close out. How am I going to close out today? But yeah, definitely if you're watching this on the restream, what's up? What's up, Lee? What? Frankie? Lee, Lay. Frankie, what's up? Let's see. I'm just going to talk to y'all later. I ain't going to do nothing special. Matter of fact, I got y'all right now. I'm going to close out with this.
Ain't us FBA. We's a beautiful people. We's a beautiful people. Don't let anyone steal your joy. for being ADOS FBA. Because we are beautiful people. Hey!